How's everybody doing?
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Everybody here? Shoot, I don't have everything in front of me like I do when we're
I know,
in
I'm
person.
sorry. I think what my plan is to do is as different departments present, I'll put their budget up on the screen so that, Jim can see it and everybody can see it and follow along.
Okay. If somebody has the agenda pulled up, that would be great. Um, so call the meeting to order. We're on select board December 2nd, 2025 at 6:32 p.m. Any public comment? Is there anybody here I don't know? Any public? Jim? No? Okay, agenda changes.
The only thing that I would like to put on the agenda is us approving Laura Gorski's invoice that I sent around to you all the other day.
Okay.
I'm sure that, Dana would like to just get that processed especially before she leaves for vacation.
Jokey. Anything else? Okay. What's first on the agenda? Sorry.
Fire department.
Jeff? Okay.
Oh,
Pull that up. Awesome. Thank you.
Rebecca, can you just scroll over so they can see all of the budget of 2026?
All right.
You go over.
Just scroll at the bottom. There you go. So,
Thank you.
budget wise, most everything, there's still a few outstanding invoices that are missing from this year's current total budget, but should be in within the next week or so. Other than that, the budget is in the Y column. There is unfortunately a 3.4% increase. Most of that is in vehicle repairs and maintenance and radio dispatch and utilities. So repairs and maintenance, we never know what that's going to look like. Everything has been costing more than what was expected compared to last year, as many of us know, and as you guys have talked with Andrew, I'm sure. The radio dispatching, they always have a 4.5% increase regarding dispatch fees. And then, see, and then lastly is the utilities.
Why did utilities go up so much? It went from 3,000 to 1,800 in 2023, and now it's 9,000. That can't
So
just be.
what happened was in the past, um, the internet, the phones, and everything else were not added to our budget. It was always just all pulled together. So
Yeah.
if you went back to whatever year it was, you would see that the utilities was a lot higher for, I think, the overall town and stuff. But so that got broken out.
Oh, I see.
Included is the Sugarbush water bill and the porta potty that's up the Sugarbush station.
Gotcha.
So sorry, I'm on this. I can't see what the different categories are. I had a question about where is it? 16,000.
Yep. So that's contracted services. What was so the 16,000 that was supposed to include 1 year it's hose testing and pump testing, and then the other year is hydrant testing. We were supposed to do hydrant testing this year, and every time we called to try to schedule it, we couldn't get an answer. And so that is the reason why that number is lower than the 16,000. The hard part also is with hose testing is that the only place that we can actually do hose testing is realistically in the Sugarbush parking lot, which we have a small window of time to be able to do that without any issues.
So I guess I'm just looking at 2024, it was budgeted at 16, spent 71, 2025, 16, spent 92.62. Where is the 16? What,
So hose testing is typically $7,000.
and we just
hydrant
haven't done it
testing-
for years.
And it like I said, it's the scheduling piece of it. The company comes out of Connecticut, and in order to get it, they're like, "Oh, we can come in like November." I'm like, "You can't test hose in November in Vermont very easily." And it's just usually what they're doing is for whatever reason, a lot of the southern states that they cover, they're doing those all in the summertime, which seems kind of silly because that's usually the warmest for where they're doing it, whereas they could be doing it here. The last time they did it it was either August or September, and that was a perfect time. And trying to get them to schedule that isn't always the easiest thing. Plus, they also got bought by one company, which means that they had more customers, and I don't think they can keep up with the customers that the two companies had together. So that's the unfortunate part of it. And when it comes to hydrant testing, as far as I know, there are 2, maybe 3 companies in all of Vermont that can do hydrant testing. Most towns that have a lot of hydrants, they have a water department that does all their testing. So we don't have that luxury.
The diesel line, I guess
Yep.
we get all our diesel from the highway department
Correct.
tank. So we probably don't need that budget item then, right?
Well, we've always had it in there in the past because they always broke it out, and we haven't had it broken out in a while. So, in all the years past budgets, we were always told to keep it in there.
I mean, there's, as you're well aware, going to be a lot of pressure to keep the budget flat to lower, given what's going to happen with the education budget and all the noise around the reappraisal. So, I mean, if there's places we can find that 5,000 increase, I think that would be very helpful.
Yep.
I would take that right out of the gate. And if we can find another 2,000 or 3,000 amongst line items, I think that would be very helpful. And get back
Thank you,
down
sir.
to the 88.
Yep. I mean, I can look at different places. I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes down to Andrew, whether he is okay with us taking, like I said, that $3,000 is always allotted because the highway department would basically tell us what we use for diesel fuel. Now, if that's the case and it doesn't have to be in there, I'd be happy to take it out because over the last at least 4 years or so, we haven't gotten billed for our fuel.
Right. So I mean, it's not affecting, I mean, it's not going to increase Andrew's budget to have you not put it in because it's still in Andrew's budget.
I'm just going based off of what has happened the last 14 years that I've done the budget and what I was told. So,
Nope, makes sense.
I don't know if Dana wants to elaborate more on that or not, since she's been a part of, more budgets than I have.
What do you want me to elaborate on? So
Just why do we split that out between fire department and highway department?
there was
Oh.
never, Jeff is 100% correct on that one. There
Okay.
was the select board decided this, I think it was a Bob and an Andy thing for a while. And Jeff followed it. You know what I mean? There wasn't any reason behind, and what Jeff is saying is factual. Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess the question is, why is it no longer being billed? was that something Cindy was doing, do we think? And that's why, like, it just doesn't
So from
make
what I
sense to
know,
keep it in there.
from what I know, it was always at the end of the year, the highway department would always take all the slips that they track and everything else. They know exactly all the trucks that are listed. They would take all the gallons, they would do the math, and that's where where we would get a number. The $3,000 I was always told was a placeholder. So, um, I don't have sadly, I don't have a better answer other than that's how it was in the past. And that's how we would come up with a number. And
But
$4
exactly,
from
Jeff is right on that. I'm going to interrupt Jeff. Sorry about that. The diesel fuel is subtracted from the diesel fuel budget of both of them and put into. I'm not sure where it's going into it, Jeff. Remember, we've done this every single year. We subtract it, charge it to the fire department. Let me check on that number exactly where it is, because I don't know why it's not showing up on those lines. I'll find out on that one tomorrow.
So in other words, you're saying it's not hidden in the highway department's fuel. It is being broken out, but we just don't know where it's showing up.
100%. It is showing up in their fuel, but it is being removed, and
Right.
I'm not sure what account it's in. It could have gone to highway gas. I'll figure it out on that one. Let me follow up on that one.
Okay, thank you.
I believe even in the town report it shows it, and I don't recall last year or the year before they're showing a number. So
Yeah, you are right on that one, Jeff. I actually, let me look to see where I have it, because I do have the calculations every single year and it is being done. And just like you're saying, Andrew gives me all the slips. So, honestly, let me follow up on that one. I'm not sure where it is at this point.
Jeff,
Sure,
where do you think it
thanks.
shows up in the town report?
I mean, in years past, I think it would always show up under that line item for fuel, diesel, and gas only.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, it
Yeah, it
does.
shows last year that you used 1,960.
That
Okay.
sounds right. That
So
sounds right.
perhaps we could change it to, we could drop it down to 2,000 instead of having it at 3,000, but the year
Sorry.
before it was 2,480, so
Sorry,
you're-
where are you saying that, Rebecca? Because
So in
there's
the
no
actual
number in
town
here.
report, where Jeff doesn't have it in his budgets, but in the actual town report under services fire department, it does say fuel and it does list the actual dollar amounts that they used for fuel.
So it
Oh.
must be a chargeback that just happens later in the year.
Yeah, 'cause I know
Exactly.
that-
Yeah, in
Yeah,
the next
fire
couple
department
weeks
keeps
it
a
will happen.
log. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense. But I think if we could pick up 1,000 there and 1,000, you pick the line items, Jeff, supplies, we're going to be pressuring everybody to keep their
Mhm.
budgets flat for the year. You're awfully close, and you've done an outstanding job of managing your 2025 budget. And so I will say we greatly appreciate that. But as we think about setting the tax rate for 26, it would be very helpful to be flat.
Yeah, and admin training. I'm just looking at things that have come in under budget both
So-
years, and
So I can tell you that training was under budget, and the big reason why it came under budget because we were able to collect close to $4,000 from different condo associations in Sugarbush that allowed us to host our elevator training that we had earlier in September, which was $5,200. So that's where we knew that we were going to have that training. We knew that it was going to be a certain amount, and we thought we could raise, the balance, if not the 4,000. That's the reason why that number is low, is because we were able to, collect it from donations between Sugarbush and I think 4 other condos. So that's the reason why that number is half of what it was.
so you're saying you got 5,200? So it
We
really
got-
would have been more like,
Well, we got the
Seven.
cost of the training was around 52 or 5,300 total, and we were able to bring in, I believe it was like 3,500 or something in it in donations. We basically
You
looked
don't
at the
anticipate anything like that for next year?
I mean, we're always hoping to try to bring in outside trainers, and you know, I've got a couple requests in from different people, but until we get something confirmed, that's the hard part. And yes, we can always try to get different organizations to help offset some of the price. We can try to charge other departments that come in. So that's the hard part.
But the training needs to be done, so we should have it in the budget. Okay.
Right. I mean, here's the thing: I can lower that number, but at the same time, then I'm going to feel like pressure. I don't want to say pressure, but I'm going to feel obligated to try to stick to that number. And if we go over, then I'm going to feel, I'm not sure what the word is, but I'm going to feel bad that I went over in that number. I mean, I feel bad that the utilities are $1,600 over when that was a combination of all sorts of things. So,
I don't think you should feel bad. I would worry that you would not pursue training opportunities if you put something lower, and that would be my concern, and we don't want that. So obviously training is important.
And if we can get training, we tried to do another training that the state would have hosted, which meant that if the state hosted it, we wouldn't have to pay for it. But at the same time, it's also, we're trying to just get outside people that can bring something that none of us have actually had any training in that can be beneficial. I've looked at one that would basically involve dealing with resort fires and planning for, any resort fires. Now, a lot of the sad reality is that a lot of that training comes from down south with a lot of large condos down in Myrtle Beach and Hilton Head and stuff like that. But really, it's no different. It's just warmer down there. They got the same kind of buildings and the same kind of population. So we're constantly looking at outside training and who can we bring in and things like that. And sometimes we get lucky and people will do it for a lot less money than we expect, but it's always hard to tell.
Well, I think we should congratulate you for being 16,000 under budget. I think that is impressive and very much appreciated. Now that number might go down a little with the remaining bills and the chargeback diesel, but that's excellent. Thank you.
My guess is I'll probably be probably 8,000 less. So, and I think also if you look, the number for benefits is always stayed at $6,000. Last year it was $6,050. My guess is that this year it's probably going to be maybe more. And a lot of that is just the unknowns of what are we going to have for call volume? What are we going to have for, I know next year we'll be paying out less for people who took firefighter 1 than we did in the last couple of years. So that's a number that I can't ever really put a solid answer to.
Gotcha. No, that's a great budget. Well done.
So I can come back to you guys and try to lower a couple spots and see if I can get closer to that, 188,000. Might need to be like 190,000, but I can certainly try to see what I can do to bring it down in a couple spots.
I think that'd be really helpful. I think 190 would be a good number.
Yep.
And again, we appreciate the work you've done on 25. We move to capital budgets.
Yep. So Rebecca will have to scroll down a little.
We typically do those separate, but we can, you guys can talk about it if you want.
So Harvey, what we usually do is all of the, operating budget type stuff. And then in January, I think we do all the different capital account budgets.
Okay.
I mean,
sort of just separate that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do it either time, so it's up to you guys.
I just think the other departments, we kind of do that separately, don't we?
Yeah.
We're going to make Jeff come back.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to see him.
I'm used to it.
Okay. Um, any other questions, anybody? Kaylee, Joel?
None for me.
I do know that I think the next budget meeting you guys are having, I believe is the 16th, and I'm not 100% positive that I'll be able to attend that. So I can work on these numbers and then I can submit them to you guys if that works and
Yeah,
go from there.
yeah. I mean, I doubt we'll have many questions. If you can make some tweaks and just give us the, overview, that would be great, I think.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay. Uh, looks like we are rec district. There she is. Hi,
Hi.
Laura.
Yeah,
Hi.
how you doing?
Good.
All right. Well, I'll try and be succinct. You've got the two-page report that we've submitted and also our budget. We, thank you for your support of the Recreation District. We're asking for level funding again this year. And the good news is we have more to work with because we got more town to join
Oh,
last
good.
year. So we're pretty excited about that. In terms of just equity for all the towns and that they're willing to be part of the rec district was one of our major accomplishments for last year. So we have two, I'll just briefly go through this document. We have two overarching themes for 2026. One is we are working on a strategic plan for the next 5 years. We had spent so much time on the VORAC grant and all that involved. We held off on doing a strategic plan until that was finished up, and that is finished up, and every cent was gotten back from the state in that big grant. So our strategic plan has two different focuses. One is we're going to take a closer look at Mad River Park and consider other enhancements to that. A couple years ago, we raised outside money, about 45,000, to fund irrigation system, which we do need now with climate change. We get some really dry spells and a need to keep the grass growing and keep it a safe set of fields for everybody to use. But so enhancements at Mad River Park is one part of the strategic plan. And the other big issue is just researching, exploring indoor recreation space. We were at a bit of a retreat, and somebody with young kids was saying the same thing that I was saying when my kids were that age 20 years ago, that, there's not enough indoor recreation space. If you're not a skier or do the outdoor stuff, it's kind of a long winter. So we're just going to see what the appetite is for that. And again, it's exploration. And then we also want to make sure that we stay true to the values of conservation and recreation visioning. We put a lot of time into that as part of the VORAC grant, and we really feel like making sure we balance trails and recreation with a sustainable environment is really important to the entire valley. So we're going to look after that with all of our partners. But in 2025, our accomplishments were the Moortown joining up, and we now have a new Moortown board member. They joined as a half member because a lot of their kids do some sports in Waterbury, and they have a big geography that, looks toward towns other than the valley towns. So we felt like that was a fair ask for them. And they agreed. So I mentioned the VORAC grant being closed out. And on our website, we have the three big deliverables. And I would point you toward the CRV dropdown, which has a mapping tool on it, which is excellent if you want to look at your own property or your favorite places. And it would enable you to see the things you should avoid if you're going to build a new trail. So we work with all of our partners on that, and we're hoping to get that mapping tool out to the general public because we have so many trails on private lands. We're, always trying to make our website better. And if the town has any announcements, they're happy to put it up on our website if they're recreation oriented. And we are also instituted a Volunteer Hero Award, and Charlie Hosford got it the first year, and this year Doug Bergstein got that honor. He was the head of the recreation committee at Brooks Field for decades, and did a great job with that, as well as being the treasurer of Mad River Valley Rec District. We've started putting more articles in the newspaper and on Front Porch Forum, just so people see where their tax dollars are going in terms of recreation. We want everybody to know we're working hard and funding lots of different groups. We also did 3 different safety programs this year, selling helmets and bike lights. We added a Stop the Bleed workshop, which we'll probably do again next year, but it's a 1-hour free session on giving people confidence to use tourniquets. And we also instituted swim lessons for Valley first and second graders. When my kids were young, it was a program at Warren School that was like the ski program is now. So there are not enough swim instructors to have our own program, but we piggybacked off of the Waterbury program, and it was good for them and good for us. And 27 first and second graders in our founding towns, Warren, Waitsfield, and Fayston, got to have swim lessons last spring and summer. So that felt great. This year we have 17 groups applying for grants, the total ask of $82,911. 4,000 of that is earmarked for additional swim lessons this year. And we are in the midst of deliberating our grant, reviewing those grant applications and deciding if we can fund them fully or partially, and asking those 17 groups various questions to make sure it's a good use of public funds. So that's any questions on our accomplishments in 2025? Okay,
Well
I'll
done.
just
That's good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, and in 2026, we're going to keep an eye out for grant possibilities. We don't know if there's the whole grant situation has changed radically with the federal and state situations, but we'll keep an eye out to see if there is something that would be worthy of gathering partners for, or for the rec district to do on our own. We're going to make sure we stay true to those CRV values. We're also going to take a look at youth scholarships and keep an eye on middle and high school sports, because we know that with the tightened educational budgets, that some of the cuts are probably going to come to middle school sports first. And we think it's such an important part of a teenager's development to have access to team sports and other activities. So there was a recent meeting, and we're just going to integrate ourselves into that to see if there's ways that we can help. And we are really, focused on developing the strategic plan. So if anybody on your board has suggestions or would like to have a conversation with me about our strategic plan and priorities, please don't hesitate. But we're in the throes of having something that we can show to the select boards and our partners in probably the first half of 2026. So there's time for input and comments, but basically we want to give people what they want in the Valley and what we can afford through our level funding. But I think we're off to a good start, and we have 2 board openings right now. One is we'll be asking you all to vote on, Peter Oliver is going to step down as a Warren rep, and then we have another at-large opening, and we have a couple of different people interested, so they'll come to our December meeting, and we'll get back to you guys with a suggestion for the Warren representative. But yeah, Peter is stepping down, and Gina Gades is the other person who needs to come off the board. So they, both did a lot over the years to help us, and we thank them for their service and look forward to some new board members. Mike DeBonis is the new board member from Moortown, and he happens to also be the executive director of the Green Mountain Club. So we get quite a bit of expertise in outdoor recreation, which is, great. So other questions? Any questions about the budget? I'm doing my part to keep your meeting moving fast, but I'm happy to
Doing great.
happy to take questions if you have them.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else on the board?
No, Laura, that was an excellent update. Thank you. And
Good.
thank you for keeping your budget flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. We've all got to do it. We're all homeowners and taxpayers, so thank you for all your hard work at using our money to good ends.
Great.
Cool.
All right, thanks.
Nothing
I'll sign
else
off then.
Thanks, Laura.
All right, have a good evening.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah,
Good night.
bye.
Bye-bye. Okie dokie. All right, next up,
Peter
Peter.
was next.
Hello, Hito. Are we early?
A little bit early, yeah. He was on.
I know, I can see him there. It's just muted, so he's probably eating dinner or something. What else have we?
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, it's a little slow.
All right.
No problem. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Certainly easier than slopping around, everybody slopping around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like to be together, but
Yeah.
it seems to work. So
Works. You're working.
yeah. We've got your budget, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up.
Thank you.
So in terms of activities, the couple of things that we're doing a little different this year, or we did different. We actually paid a guy to help us with the blueberries at Blueberry Lake, and he had a professional guy get in there with a motorized brush hog, which was really helpful. So that was a new. We tried with volunteers for many years. We just could never keep up with the work with the volunteers. So we're now spending money. We used to allocate it and not spend it, and now we're going to start spending it. The big item, of course, is the knotweed intern, having the interns come. This year we had 7 interns, and there's a couple things that's on this budget. In 2025, we're working under a grant for U.S. Forest Service, which should be about $34.99, and I submitted that invoice in October, and then of course the government was shut down. And last week, somebody woke up down there and said, "You're going to submit the stuff." So I gave them the top guy the stuff. So I'm expecting that check, in the new year. I don't see it won't make it soon, but and then this year.
Sorry, Hito. So you expect that 18,899?
No, it'll be we spent the 18,899. What you didn't show, what shows up on this screen is a donation of 26.99, a grant money thing. There actually is going to be another grant that actually will show up in 26.
Okay.
Just from an accounting point of view, and that's going to be $3,500. Just a buck less than.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's the end of that Forest Service contract. They, given all the changes, they're not saying they're going to continue funding it. They weren't displeased with what happened. We had made great progress, but given what's going on, they're not going to put any more money out there. And then the second portion of that is the grant money that was shown that arrived in 2025, the 2699, came from a program that we cooperate with through Waitsfield and Fayston. It's a Lake Champlain Basin grant money. That money that would be paid for the work we did in 25 will also show up in 26. So there's two more chunks of money coming in 26. So depending on how you want to talk about a level budget, I would like to use some of the money that's coming in 26 to actually pay for goats. I didn't put it in the budget because we've never asked the town to help pay for the goats in the past. We thought it was maybe just a little too new and unproven. And now that we've done it for a couple of years and we're seeing the progress, I think it's a legitimate expense that the town could do. In the past, we've raised something like, $4,000 to $6,000 through a GoFundMe campaign. And then all of us that are doing it, throw in a bit and we keep it working. But it would be great to have a line item in our budget for that. But it would be offset against the grant money that's coming in.
I guess I had thought the 16,000 was for the goats. That's for something else.
That's for interns. We have
the 16's for the interns.
Yeah. There's no goat money in this budget.
Oh.
And so I was like, if we could have like even a $6,000 or $7,000 line for goats would be great. And with that, it's still going to be below what we spent this year in terms of how the 2026 budget would come out.
So you're going to receive 6,000, roughly 6,000 next year between the two grant monies.
No, total it'll be 9,972
for grant money.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And we just submitted another $140,000 chunk for grant money. So it's just a rolling game we're trying to play to keep the money and keep the program healthy. But next year, so from your bookkeeping point of view, there's going to be almost $10,000 come in grant money in 26. And if we could put a line item for goats in there, that would be great.
So you're basically saying take the 9,000 or 10,000, add it into the grant line, and then add a line in by the knotweed for goats. And then you'd still be at the 23,000 budget for the year.
Yep.
I think that sounds good.
Well, I think it really energized us to keep it all going. Last year, we really questioned whether we could actually do the goats again, and it was very interesting. People don't realize it, but every time we go after a chunk of knotweed, the amount of energy we spend the subsequent year is half what we spent the first year. So what we did initially was, that's why we have so many sites in Warren we're managing. I think we're up to 160 sites. But with the goats, it was the same thing. The first year we had 40 goats, and some of them were a littler than others, so they didn't need as much. But last year we only had 18, and we covered the same territory. So the grant we put in, this sort of affects the town in a couple ways, was to run a goat herding program that went all the way from Riverside Park to the Sugarbush Pond. And the idea, we would never have to actually truck the goats. We would just move them down that corridor. And all of the people, other than the town, the state owns a chunk, and then the little hotel owns a chunk. And the state never responded. The person in charge of that got laid off from funding, and the hotel was fine. So if we got lucky, we would have a real interesting program. And So leveraging that money a lot at that point.
Hito,
Is there
can you
any-
talk, sorry,
Nope, I'm sorry.
just a little bit about the work that the interns do?
Yeah, the three things we try to get them to do is we manually control property. And you know what we did this year successfully. I think we can legitimately say that there is no knotweed going into the Mad River from any tributary above the town. So all the tributaries above the town, we've either eliminated it or it's under control.
Wow.
And that just means getting down into all those spaces and getting after it.
Hmm.
And the Forest Service, of course, is part of that, and stretching all the way up into Granville. And I've yet to get the state Forest Parks and Recs controls Granville, and they know what we're doing and they're happy with it, but they don't put any money in it.
Right.
So other than them doing the physical work to remove the knotweed, we also have them engaged in the social media side of it, which is a very important part of the program because it basically spreads our message farther and wider. Like, we aren't going to win the knotweed program unless everybody gets involved, and subsequently to the work we've been doing and the outreach we do on social media and in the newspaper, people are no longer afraid of it. And people are understanding how to manage it. And there's a lot of people in the town of Warren that are managing their own problem and don't even have to talk about it. They just know what to do. So that's a result of a very strong outreach program. So we require that each of the interns to engage in some part of that social media and or write articles for the newspaper, and then in a few other, they went to various farmers market in Waitsfield, where they would just be there at a table handing out information. And so anyway, and they work from usually the first week of June until the second week of August.
Two quick
Thanks.
questions, if I could. So the land along the Mad River from Riverside to the snowmaking pond, is that owned by the town of Warren? All those?
The town of Warren owns two chunks of it. First of all, Riverside Park, which goes down almost to the creek that comes out of Sugarbush, Claybrook.
Okay.
Then the hotel owns a piece of it, and then the state owns a piece of it when you get to the bridge. After the bridge, it's town property until you hit the Sugarbush property.
So most of it is town property.
Maybe half in lengthwise, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. No, the corridor sounds like a great idea. Just keep them moving down.
The biggest hassle and expense for the goat herder is literally picking them up and moving them.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's not good for the environment either. You're burning gas.
Yeah.
Is there any reason to add mechanical assistance after the goats go through, or is there any?
We don't perfectly understand what the end game is. We know the goats really knock it back. So we've been trying a few things. Luke Foley's running pigs on his. We don't think we'll get in the business of running pigs on this kind of land. It's pretty devastating, but that's a good solution. We mechanically now do go in occasionally after the goats have weakened it and take action. And so we have some test plots where that's happening. Just so you understand that we have about 60 test plots that are 3 feet by 3 feet. And each year you go in the spring and you measure the number of sprouts, the size of the sprouts, and what other vegetation is in that. That's all tallied, and the UVM, two professors at UVM that run the invasive species program, then take that data and process that and have it feed back. So we actually have a very good database on how effective the work has been. And it's in its infancy. We've done now that for 2 years roughly.
That's excellent. I was just wondering if it got cleaned up after the goats went through, then it would just be more usable by at least the town property by people in town. But
Yeah, the knotweed is this thing you just got to keep after. You never win. You never win day one.
yeah,
River, especially the best, easiest access to what that goes to is Riverside Park.
yeah,
Both sides of the road there at the entrance, they've now worked on for 2 years. And there's a portion on it that you can also go to the river to the south. And that's where we've mechanically sort of assisted the goats.
right, right.
And you can see some significant difference there.
Excellent.
Well, that would be great if we can add that line. That would be wonderful.
I think that makes sense.
Do we vote on this, Camilla, or how does this work?
I think at this point, we're really just
Just review it.
giving suggestions, right? And then we'll review it all again as it comes together and look at bottom lines. Rebecca, am I remembering that correctly?
Yep.
And
So I can adjust this with Rebecca and get you the numbers.
Am I remembering correctly from one of our other meetings that the workers' comp went up because of the interns as like a whole for the town? And we were talking about how we were going to distribute that across different budgets because it was a line item that came up that it was a larger number. Is that true?
So we carry a intern benefits line,
yeah,
which is a prorated percentage, and Dana does that calculation.
At this point, with the audit, we went up considerably amount. Rebecca, wasn't it like $5,000 or $6,000 for the workers'
Yeah.
comp audit?
Yep.
Right. And it'll show up on the insurance. That went into an insurance line, which is, let me see how much it went up. It went up, workers' comp. Yeah, it went up a little over $6,000.
Yeah.
$6,700 it went up.
and where do we find that? It's not
It's
in
on the
individual
insurance
budgets?
line. It's not, we don't break our VLCT insurance down by departments.
Yeah.
So if we did, it was that, and that was the year before, Camilla, I think and Beck, you might know too, I think it went up about $4,000, wasn't it? Like 3,500, because you didn't
Yeah.
have as many people. And then last year it went up 60, or this year through the audit, it went up 67.
And that's based on the kind of work they do, that's based on the like how do we,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's outdoor recreational
Yeah.
manual labor like highway work. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. $6,727 was the increase.
So when Beck and I were talking about the budget, how we were breaking it down, we have never broken down the insurance, Camilla,
yeah,
that way by department. But with the knotweed, it's like a different department, kind of. It's not a rec department, but it's kind of a short-term seasonal employee.
Mm.
We didn't know. I
Yeah.
think this was a discussion that we were going to have with you guys during the budget season, how you wanted to see it. So,
I mean, I think I can see why we have not broken it out by department. It's kind of the jobs are the jobs, and whatever, risks they come with, I don't think we're gonna manage that. We're gonna say, well, you can't have that job because the workers' comp
Right.
insurance is high for it. The only thing that just came to my mind was, Hito mentioned that not all the work they do is physical work. And I don't know whether, and I realize that Hito, the way you have it set up, each of them does all the different things. I'm just throwing out there, I wonder if, from a workers' comp point of view, if there were, some employees hours or some employees were doing social media or PR work, that would probably be at a different rate than the
Yeah.
ones who are
Yeah.
doing the physical work.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know if
would
that's
be.
a way to maybe take a look at it.
I don't know if the audit does actually break it down by position. Does it, Dana?
No, it does not.
No.
It's like
So in
highway.
all the
It's,
departments, the administrative
no,
ones
it,
are not?
we, if there's a certain amount of admin versus a certain amount of, highway versus if we had a water department, things like that. A library, very, admin lower, highway higher, obviously, So it's not, the conversation we could bring up to VLCT and ask them why, but if you want to come in and look at the audit, it's just a quick one sheet breakdown. I can send you a copy of it tomorrow if you like.
I don't pretend to understand it necessarily. I'm just trying to think of.
Yeah, it's one of those that, because they are ranked in a certain department on the
category.
VLC, exactly. Yeah, it's like fire department has their own workers' comp section, and they are different categories within the fire department. And if you're a chief versus you are a fire, medical, any of that kind of stuff. So that's a different one.
Well,
And
I guess that's what I was getting at is you're saying even within the fire department, there are different categories of depending on the risk exposure, I guess.
correct.
So why would that be different in conservation
I
commission?
actually don't know if VLCT has those categories for something like this. I really don't. I've never asked. They've just we put them as, I think they're, Beck, I think I put them in, no, I think I just do not weed intern, and they're looking at the whole employee list.
Yeah.
So it's not me putting them in a different category. They get all of the employees and go from there.
Right.
If we pay workers' comp if we pay unemployment on them, which we do, if we pay, all the different types of things that we are paying on them. So,
We can ask for some clarification, but I don't know
Yeah.
how much detail they can drill down.
When do we cover insurance for budget review?
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
We don't really have too much of a say on it because of what VLCT and their price
Exactly.
increases. And then they do an audit in the middle of the year on certain departments. They even do it on, the vehicles, the buildings, everything like that. So everything is constantly adjusted. So last year, I think we did a 7.5% increase, and we're pretty good in that range, kind of. We're not too far out of the range because we kind of, when Rebecca and I did the budget, we adjusted for audit things. We didn't adjust high enough for the workers' comp. We didn't.
So there's basically just standard coverage for all towns that VLCT just kind of gives us a number for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have much say in it.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
No.
Okay. Any other questions for Hito on this budget? Hito, you're going to go back and work with Rebecca on
Yeah,
numbers?
Yeah. And we'll keep
Awesome.
we'll keep it net under 23.
That would be fantastic.
Thanks, Ito.
Well, I've got everybody. I had just two things I want to lob in. And not have to be a longer conversation right now, but one is the Cassidy Miller land. I've been involved in numerous conversations, and I thought we had totally got it done, and I never quite feel it's got across the goal line. But I know all the lawyers have met a couple of times, and the language seems fine to me. So whenever that has to happen, if I can do anything, let me know.
Okay, thanks. I think we got some recent communication, which I haven't read.
I think we were planning to discuss it on the 9th.
Okay, that's right. Yep.
Hoping
why
to
I
get
didn't
back
read
to
it.
Sheila, that next day.
And then putting on my other hat, if the market can be helpful in stimulating the conversation about getting some repairs going, last year was a bit of a disaster in terms of getting any repairs on that building. And
Oh, the East Warren Market.
East Warren Community Market.
Yeah,
And
we're working on it.
okay, there was a conversation somewhere along the line saying maybe we should have a joint meeting and whatever. We're ready to talk and be with anybody and do whatever we can to help. It needs some work.
Yes. It does. I think Joel, you may be involved in that. Is that correct?
Yeah, Devin and myself and Ellen walked around the building, and I think it was part of the conversation was trying to, it's looped into our overall discussion about town buildings and maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think part of the discussion was like, how are we going to deal with we're trying to tackle the whole issue of like all the different properties and try to find someone to help us with all of that. And that's, we're having an RFP out for people to check that out. And then the market building sort of falls underneath that new person position that we're trying to find.
Yeah.
Right. Hito, I don't know if you were aware of that, but
No,
the town has put out an RFP for essentially property management services for all the town-owned properties. So that we have, rather than trying to hire, or have an employee responsible for it, we would have a company responsible, and they'd be doing capital improvement plans, sort of 5-year out projections, with analysis of all the properties and what they need, and so that we can budget for all the improvements going forward holistically.
okay. Well, if we can be of any help, we're anxious to improve the building.
Great.
Yeah,
Right. Well, thank you very much.
definitely. Thanks, Ito.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Where are we here? Treasurer?
Yep.
It's me.
It's you. Hi, Dana.
Hi, guys. The only change I have is bank fees. And I actually think we can make adjustments on that. We made some deposits this year. So the deposits through the bank at Northridge are I think it is $128 a piece. So I think I might be able to get it from a different company that might be able to reduce it. There was a large charge, and that was the late fee on the bond vote. I did not pay it until the 1st of June, and it was due at the end of May. So we incurred a $250 late fee on that.
What bond vote?
The fire pond and the standing, I think it was the fire pond and the solar. It was a
Solar,
$250 one to, I think it's a US bank. So that's where that went. So I don't think that I put it up to 350 just because of the deposit slips and any other expense that we incur for ordering whatever. Haven't gotten the quote back from Sullivan and Powers. Last year it was at 24,000. I increased the budget this year because we are going to have NEMRIC doing reconciliation. And if they do it it's about $400 a month to reconcile the accounts after I send them all the information. So her to review them and everything like that, that's what that cost is. We have NEMRIC come out 3 times a year, and it's $800 and something a piece. So that I do have flexibility in there. We have only you know, we budgeted 26, we came in at 25.7. I don't know what Sullivan is going to be. If it's $24,000 again, then we can reduce the accounting line for the NEMRIC charges. So that's where
So,
But-
so the
but
20, go ahead.
Just to repeat, the 29,000 includes the monthly bank recs and all
Correct.
the things we need to get a clean audit.
correct.
Okay.
And what about the other NEMRIC? Are they somewhere else? Whatever.
Cash reserves and the new zoning thing will go into maintenance contracts under the maintenance contract with NEMRIC that we pay
Right.
cover. Yeah,
This is just your specific.
correct.
Gotcha.
And that's it, guys. Sorry, I don't have anything else to say.
good.
I'll have Sullivan and Powers. Rick is on vacation this last week. He was for Thanksgiving. He's coming back this week, and I should have a letter of agreement from him so that you guys can review it and see if we can sign it. I
And
think.
he's coming to select board next.
Oh, so maybe he'll bring the letter of agreement then
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, cool.
So, so Dana, do you expect how much of that 27.8 under the actual right now, do you expect to end up at the end of the year?
The negative number,
Yeah,
the negative, I think the interest hasn't been put in for November completely at this point, and the interest for December won't be put in until in January. So we won't have an idea of it until budget is nipped in the bud. But we're running about I'm going to say maybe $16,000 a month in interest that we have at this point. We have another $1.6 million that's going to go out next week. So our checking account will go lower, and then I'll be able to transfer a little bit more money into the Premier account to make a little bit higher interest. But I think it would be another 15 or 16 on a conservative way of looking at that for the interest. So you're looking at maybe 33, something like that. Maybe 43. In that zone for a negative. So
Okay.
that's it, guys.
Awesome.
that's it.
Yeah, that's a long
Yeah,
one.
that's all I'm
Dana.
going to talk.
Yeah.
The other thing I can go quickly over is the delinquent budget. The
Mhm.
only thing that I'm really actually adding, it's $3,000 now for benefits, and it's always ranges in that zone around 3,000. The other thing is I would like to add $2,600 into next year's budget to pay for sale of town property during the delinquent sale. So that would be my only, my only add on that line.
What does that mean
Well, it would be paying for Laura Gorski.
for Laura? Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
And that would, as I had
Legal services,
hoped,
basically.
exactly, is to take that out of the penalties that we have. And this year we're at, right now, the penalties are at 53. So half of the penalties go to the town, which is about 27. And out of that, for this year, I would love it. I know you guys are going to discuss it later. Laura Gorski's payment, it would come out of that, and you would see it in the budget for this year or on the town report.
So why in 23 and 24 is the collection so much higher than the total budget, and then in 2025 it's less? Is that a timing thing, or?
Can you tell me what you're looking at right now?
In 23 we had a negative net, which is good. And
I think
24
actually,
we had a negative net.
yeah. What if you put in the 2025 for the actual and you put 53,583, that would be able to see what it was. For if we put the collections, we're basically double double dipping on that 73 because the payment that went out to the delinquent tax collector was the 37. So you would have another 37 in that line in the collections for the town. It wouldn't be 73. Does that make sense?
Wow. I
So
didn't
we
follow
should,
that.
we should update that then, right? Because
Well, I
it
think,
sounds like,
yeah, I think that's
yeah,
something that Rebecca and I can figure out on for the
Yeah.
town report and to show you guys, definitely.
because it doesn't, that doesn't look good.
The hard part is the timing of all of this, like we still have a whole month, before
Completely,
actual numbers
completely.
will actually be in here.
Right.
So it's
Oh,
a
completely.
lot,
Yeah,
same with Jeff's, like it's just timing on everything.
yeah, yeah. I think we just threw things in there right
Yeah.
now. So, not always the easiest, but we're not, just like Rebecca said, it's not the end of the year yet.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, so, but maybe 23 and 24 are the right way to show it. And we should make 25 the 53 or 54, or whatever double that 27 is. Because you actually collected the 53, right? And then 27 went to you and 27 went to the town.
correct.
So the town still made $20,000, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so maybe 25 needs to be fixed, not 23 and 4.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's probably the right way to show it. To show 25 like 23 and 24. So
Perfect.
the net benefit to the town is 20,000.
Can I just ask why? I missed why it's different this year.
I
Is it
wrote
just
numbers.
timing or?
No, I wrote the numbers down for Rebecca, and don't worry, it's me. So when we put them on and we were putting this scheduled quickly before the snow
Okay.
day, yes.
We
So
also
the
lost
total
Nemrick
amount that
for
we've,
about 5
yeah.
hours today, and we
Yeah.
We're
lost
not, so
internet
in other
for a
words,
few
we're not
hours, and-
changing the reporting. It's just
No.
that it got put in.
Correct.
It's a typo. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. My only question would be, that line, sale of town property, the 2,600. Is that the right label for it?
No,
or
I think it
should
was
we
going to
put
go
legal?
under tax sale expense.
Yeah,
It should go down to the next one. So tax sale expense would be basically Laura Gorski, you know what I mean, for the lawyer. So it would not go in that line, it would go on the tax sale because we would be paying her.
Yeah.
And that's where it just, again,
okay.
we were busy shoveling today.
Yeah. Yep. Good. No, that makes sense. Do we want to talk about Laura Gorski
Might
now?
want to with Dana still on here.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go ahead and so we'll
If
move
you
that
guys read that
agenda.
letter, and she again mentioned
I don't think we had it.
the legislation and not allowing us to have those tax sale for Alpine lots. That's huge. So if you guys can mention things to Candace, White and Dara Torrey, that would be helpful for us because they could put the grandfather clause in for the Alpine lots. There's 2 towns that have the same kind of situation, multiple lots sold for hardly anything. Tax bill is, $2 to $3 a year, and they were all ignored also. So we are not the only town that is going through something like this because collecting $1,500 on an Alpine lot, it's not going to happen. I mean, you saw what Laura's made on the Alpine lots was,
Right.
very, very a slim amount. Yeah, it's all right there. So that's our fear is, are those lots and how to get rid of them. We do have many people that are delinquent for 2024 that are going to a tax sale that have not made any kind of payment plan or anything like that. And she's going to get the list, within the next 2 weeks, and start on that sale for next week, for next year.
No, I liked her letter. I appreciated it. I thought she did a nice job, and she certainly does seem to have a fair point. I would be a proponent of paying her this year, and then but I would want to see an engagement letter for 2026. I think that would be to her benefit and to the towns, just to lay it all out
Oh, yeah.
in writing and sign it, and
Yeah.
just to keep things all clean.
Sounds good.
So, okay. So as I recall the earlier conversation, the first conversation, she was, I thought, charging $3,500 this year. But it's charged at $5,000 this year. Right? Am I remembering
She
that?
wanted to go up to $5,000, but we were talking to her and saying I don't know if I could get her $5,000. I didn't think and I actually thought it was going to be a flat fee of that.
Yeah.
It's not. And that's why I didn't call her back and say, change it to 4. I just submitted the letter, to be honest with you.
But it was 5 minus what she collected, so it's
Correct.
26.
Right. So you thought it was going to be a flat 5, but it's 5
Correct.
minus. So okay,
Exactly.
that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
feeling as well. But I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same. So we would sorry. Do we have this amount budgeted anywhere? Or we didn't expect to pay anything because we haven't in the past.
Correct. There was enough larger land lots to
Right.
offset the alpine lots for her. So it didn't become an issue until this year when there was 13 alpine lots and nothing else.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. So do we budget for delinquent tax, or do we just put 0 in for delinquent tax when we budget?
We put 0 in, Harvey.
We put 0. So
Right.
the 20,000 net that we'll collect, roughly, I think, would be a benefit to the budget. So paying her 2,600 would just slightly
Right.
reduce the budget
Mhm.
benefit.
Right.
That-
The interest and
Right.
the penalty, the half of the penalty goes to the town directly. And it is not,
not in the budget.
used exactly. We
Yeah.
don't, yeah.
So we can use it to offset things like diesel,
Okay.
diesel fuel,
We can.
workers' comp, and
We can. Yes.
Laura's fee, and yeah.
Okay.
It looks like Jim has a question.
Jim?
It's not so much a question as it is just to bring you folks up to speed. So I contacted Representative, what is it, Dana Torres?
Dara Tora.
Dara.
Okay.
Dara Torres and White, Candace White, and I
Candace.
also copied Ann Cummings on the why
Good.
did they change the minimum amount of taxes owed, to try to get that question answered, and also what were they going to do about it, fixing it for the town of Warren. They indicated that they had kind of launched it over the fence to the tax department to figure out how to correct it or how to mitigate it. And this was 2 weeks ago, and they said, give us a couple weeks to look at it. So I'm going to follow up again with all 3 of them and see if I can understand what their timeline is to kind of correct that for the town of Warren. They recognize that it's an issue. And they didn't have an answer on why it even got changed. So
They do
Folks are
have
gonna
it.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim, for doing and being involved. What happened is that Vermont Legal Aid lobbied them because they felt that anything under $1,500 for anyone to pay a delinquent tax was not feasible, that it had to be over $1,500. Ann Cummings was it was the chairman of this committee, and she voted for it. She voted for putting this in the bill H 454, I think it is. And that was part of the education bill. So they felt that this was, it would be tough for many families if the bill was just $1,500. If it was more, then it was something that they needed to work on.
Yeah, but
Candace,
it should have been a sliding scale. It shouldn't have been a sheer number, right? I mean, yeah, I wasn't I hadn't heard that, Dana, but
yeah.
that reason doesn't fly with me. So I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah,
still follow.
Candace and our other senator and Dara not as much, but Candace and the gentleman, I think it's Mike. I'm not sure exactly what is their other senator are on it too. So thank you, Jim, for reaching out, because that more people it helps me.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Jim. That's great.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we're all in agreement? I don't think we need to vote on this, but go ahead and pay Laura's bill as proposed.
Yep.
And then we are also asking for an engagement letter, or a contract letter
Yes.
for next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. When I send her the information, I'll ask her for the letter of engagement.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything
that's it.
else? Anybody? Going once?
Thanks, Dana.
Twice? Bye, Dana.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we have Sandra with us?
We do.
Yeah, there she is. Right, moving on to Lister budget.
Let me find.
Am I unmuted?
You're
You're unmuted.
unmuted. We're
Oh,
trying
you
to pull
love-
up your budget in front of us.
Is Julie on yet? Or did she fall asleep on me?
I don't see her on here, but
I see her.
oh,
I
she's
just
there.
saw her.
There she is.
Yeah. I don't see her, but I see her name.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So she's sleeping. No, drinking, sleeping. Yeah.
Yes, right. And she's the one that really has set this whole thing up, so I'll let her do her talking.
You do you, Julie.
Well, there's not much. I mean, here we go. I typed it up last week, so I don't know if I remember any of it. Yeah. So basically I just went through and made a list of what we've been talking about getting done this coming year. We're trying to get most of the office digitized and maybe get rid of some of the file cabinets that are in the office because they're pretty heavy. Alpine I started in 2024. A lot of that the parcels aren't joined and they should be joined. So we're just going through folder by folder.
Wait. Oh, so you're jumping around here. Okay. So Alpine, updating the map. Okay.
The mapping's a work in progress. There's a lot of subdivisions that didn't happen with the old people.
Yeah. 213 unmarked parcels. It's a lot. Somebody's watching TV
Yeah.
in our meeting.
Oh, sorry, that's my boyfriend.
Lucky. All right.
And then there's a lot of things that I don't know how to do yet. The personal property and the current use. Sandra's been doing those right along.
So the subdivision and boundary line adjustments, and the unmarked parcels, we're really that far behind 2014.
Yeah. I started, like, I told the people originally, I'm like, yeah, I think we only have like 30 things we need to change. And they've already made like 190 changes that weren't included. And then he sent me the updated map, and he's like, well, all these ones that have an X aren't associated to anything. So I started working on that, and then every now and then Ruth would walk up and say, well, this subdivision isn't on the map. So then I'd have to go through and find, I could see where Mike did send them to the other mapping company. They just never got done.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. So this is all right. Work.
They're being taxed. They're being taxed.
Okay. At least we're doing that.
Yeah, the GIS just didn't get updated.
Right.
It seems like a lot of work to catch
It
up
is.
on that.
The reappraisal that's going on right now. Supposedly they're going to be making a lot of changes and stuff that we need to do. I think during Christmas week, he's going to touch base with us to tell us what's expected as they start winding down.
So you'll be having to do work on the reappraisal and also continuing to do all of this
Right.
corrections or
Yes.
updates.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reappraisal will be part of that 32 hours that we were discussing.
Right.
At least for the 2026. And I did look over, I put what we were proposing for the budget. I did look over because it showed like our office supplies were over this year by quite a chunk. But what that came down to was that we had to run off door hangers and postcards and the cost sheets.
For the reappraisal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are
Times
the reappraisal costs?
3,200 parcels or whatever that we have.
So where are all the costs for the reappraisal? Like all the reappraisers that are out there, where are all those costs in the budget?
That's
We
part
don't.
of
We have
that's part of
line item.
the reserve capital reserve. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Yeah. So that's already
Right.
in there. That is that's 325,000, Sandra.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at the capital account and I see 472,000 for the town reappraisal. So
Yeah, it's $13,500 a month for them to be here.
Yeah.
So just like Sandra says, I think it comes to 325. Is that it? I think it is
Oh, I
something.
see.
Yeah. And
Right.
so they bill us monthly and it comes out of the capital account. And there's Harvey, I think there's 460 in that account right now. or for October 31st, there was
Yeah.
460. So
Yeah.
it'll be 13,000 left, from that. So,
Right. I see.
And
So
I,
we don't run that through the general fund. We run it through the capital account.
yeah, there's money each year that the state sends us for reappraisal use. And that, I think, Sandra, is that broken out of current use? It's broken out current use and something else that the state divides it. And we put part of that, usually we get about $26,000 a year from the state to go into the reappraisal fund. And that was started, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, Sandra, I think the capital fund for that reappraisal stuff was?
Yes.
After the last, after,
After 2008.
exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
So after that, we started
So
the capital.
Does the state contract with the people that are doing the reappraisal? Is that, I guess we
No.
pay them, but so we contracted with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are they going to finish on time? They have to finish by April 1st or April 30th or something?
I would not hold my breath.
they said something about having something to us June 1st, right, Sandra?
Yes. Yeah.
So we could
As
file.
of April 1st, that's it. We don't do any of the new sales that come in. So they just work on whatever was up until April 1st. And that's what we're having problems with now is we can't get the new transfers in because we sort of have a hiccup in there. Or what was that thing, Julie? It was hung out to dry. One parcel was flying around out there. But they're working on that. And it's because there are so many people working for them and they don't follow the rules. We're supposed to have every Monday free for us to go in and update anything we have. And a lot of them won't get out or don't get out. And we've got a mess right now.
Well,
Get out of.
We're talking about Nemrick. Yeah.
I spent the Tuesday before Thanksgiving with Nemrick, and we cleared everything up because what was happening was we were making changes at the same time that the appraisal guys were, and nothing was going over to Kama. So I spent the day with the guy at Nemrick and we went through it all and got everything to go over. And then he suggested that we, from now on, not change anything until the head appraiser says that he will make sure all of his guys are out. And then we can have a couple hours, maybe once a week, to try and get stuff caught up. So basically, all we can do is open the program right now and read what we see. We can't make any changes. And because of the weather, they're saying it's better that it's more important for them to get out and get all the information than for us to keep our stuff updated. So
Wow.
hopefully on Mondays we'll get at least 2 hours. I said I didn't, if it was Saturday at midnight, I could do it for 2 hours. I mean, just let me know. But so
That's crazy.
right now the property transfers aren't going through, so I can't update the GIS map with the property transfers. So we have gotten a few calls from people. Because I should be able to update that map once a week. So we're just trying to all play fair, nicely.
That's why Julie's doing it and not me.
Well done, Julie.
I
don't know. Sandra can kick them all into shape.
Yeah, right.
Get my whip out.
Yeah, right.
So one of the other things we talked about, it was trying to make a master book because Sandra has all this in her head. And we're trying to put together a master list so that anybody else that walks in as a lister will make sure everything's done in the computer so that it all jives. When we're trying to run the reports for the parcels, and you were supposed to do it by, Green Mountain Drive. Drive could be either drive, DRYVE, DVE. So we're just going through and, documenting all that stuff so that from now on we'll all be on the same page and easier to run reports. And
That's
so,
a great thing to do. Every department should do it.
Yeah,
So
long overdue.
that's awesome. That's a lot.
well, it
Wow.
is. It's a little hard to get her to change, but we're working on it. We hand her the book.
I don't,
Like we used to.
I'm not seeing the budget. I don't know if there's a budget to
Oh,
look at.
it's down here. I gotta change it. Hold on.
Oh, that's right.
Well, thank you. I couldn't get that to do it the way.
There it is.
So, as I was saying, the office supplies we were way over, but like 12, I think it was
You don't have
1,200
the
of that
budget on.
was the reappraisal. Really, the listers only had about $400 worth of office supplies.
I mean, Dana, I guess that could be put against the capital budget if it was big enough that.
Not really a capital expense.
No, it's not
Office
really a
supplies.
capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about it because if they were, it's like using a printer in an office. The printer is being used by the listers. So it was used by the reappraisal at the time to print up cards or to make copy machine or anything like that. It wasn't offset. So those supplies would be continued to be used by the lister. If they got paper or folders or something like that, they would still be part of the lister's office. So that's why they went into the office supplies at this
Okay.
point.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I don't see that the expenditure report up there on the thing because we want to increase the dues and training because we're going to have a new lister come on.
Oh,
And
it says this is mostly online now, so maybe less.
Yeah, I was looking at Sandra, what there was for training, and because we don't have the travel anymore, pretty much on most of them,
yeah,
I think we're going to be around the 2,000.
okay.
I looked at what she would have to do, what I'd have to do.
Yeah. But it's also if she has to be live on there when they're doing it, if she has to sign it and she's not, and she's still working at her job and can't, well, they still, if she goes and does it like at night or something, are they going to accept that? The state, I mean. Because with her working, I mean, she won't really be through work until June. And she won't, these things go during the week.
But I think she has a year from the time she's elected to do the
Okay.
first year.
Okay.
So
So
it'll go into
last
next-
year, so 25 budget was 81,000 and we're saying the 26 budget's going to be 81,000 again.
Yep.
That's what I see. Good.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Any questions, anybody?
No, I'm good.
I think
Cool.
Julie and Sandra are gonna stay on for executive
Yeah.
session.
I have a
Um,
quick question on that, on the salary and the hours that Julie's got. It will be way over a permanent part-time wage that she's at. So you'll have to do retirement, and everything else that we'd have to pay. It's an elected official thing, so it's not unemployment, but it's also, other types of, things like that. So that's something to discuss and prepare for. So
So wait, you're saying the benefits right now are 6,000 on the budget, but they'll be higher?
I don't know where that $6,000 came from.
I kept that just the same as it was from last year. Because I think
Okay.
we'd only used like 2,000 and I didn't know what it was for. So.
Oh, okay. It's the benefit line is either for all the different types. It would be short-term, long-term, everything like that. You guys would need to figure out if it's a permanent part-time worker at a certain hourly wage, and that's how you would be. That's within the select board to make that decision, not me. But I'm just throwing it out. It looks like it would be over the 1070, which is a part-time worker, which is what Julie is budgeted for this year. So you guys need to figure out, retirement is added, so that's an extra probably 11,000. That would go in the benefit line, whatever else that was added on. So I don't think it's going to be 81,000. I think it's going to be 100,000.
So
there's,
if
Julie-
you keep with those hours. Do you know what I'm saying?
So,
Yeah.
but just so I'm clear, so Julie's on the books as a part-time employee now?
Yes.
Correct.
So there's under certain hours, we don't do sick time or retirement or benefits or anything like
Right.
that.
Gotcha.
okay, so benefits would be being increased to a new position,
Correct.
full-time position is what you're saying.
If it's at the very, it's not full-time quite yet for us. It's full-time if it was at the library, but that's a separate board. Do you know what I'm saying on that?
What's not full-time?
We're full-time at 37.5.
Right.
So
And Julie, what are you? You're not 37.5?
No.
at this point,
Yeah.
I think it's 20. So I don't know
Oh.
what, I don't know this budget, so.
Because in the budget, it says 1,716 hours.
I was doing
That's-
32 hours. Because that's
32
what
a week.
the personnel manual said was 32 hours was full-time times
Okay.
52 weeks.
To be eligible for benefits, yeah. It's 32
Okay.
hours. Yeah.
And we're still tossing that around, Sandra and I. So
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll want to update that accordingly when you guys settle on that, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once a decision's made, there'll be adjustments to that
Yeah.
number is I think what we're getting at.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
exactly.
don't count on it being 80 grand again.
Yeah.
God, I already got it spent.
Of course you do. Okay. So if there are no more questions specifically on this budget, should we go ahead and do the, how do we want to do this? We want to do the numbers, which we're not there to do signatures, but, vote on the payables and all of that, and then go to executive session?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's nothing really in front of you to do payable, so we can do them next week on the 9th.
We can,
Yeah.
Does that mean Dana can't pay him though?
right? I mean,
Oh, well, she wouldn't be paying on this anyways.
Oh, she wouldn't.
They've already
No.
been paid.
They've already been
Oh,
paid.
okay.
Yeah, everything's
So we're
been
just-
reviewed. Rebecca's signed off on
Okay,
them.
good.
The warrant
Okay,
is
so
something
it's
that
just
you guys will be signing
formalizing
off.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay, good. Good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's do it next week then.
There's
You're-
no other business. Anybody have any other business?
Next week, you guys will have that, the Harwood, the Washington West, bill to
Okay.
sign. So
Okay.
just get ready for that one.
Anything else? Otherwise, we will move to go into executive session. Somebody want to make a motion?
I move to go
Anybody?
into executive session.
Thank you. Second?
You're welcome.
We just have to invite Julie and Sandra and
Oh, yeah.
me if Julie and Sandra want me to stay or not.
I don't have to stay, I don't think. Do I?
Well, yes, you better.
Okay.
It's discussing this payroll thing, isn't it? Or are we gonna,
Well,
Yep.
why don't we move to executive session and
Yeah.
then
okay,
So we can
Yep.
go from there.
Well, so move to executive session, inviting Sandra, Julie, and Rebecca.
yes.
And Kaylee, you made that motion? You make
Yeah,
that
so
motion?
moved.
Okay. Second? Thank Harvey.
aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.